This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. What you just heard there was me finally getting to grips with a solo I've had a bit of a history with over the years. The solo from Bad Companies, Can't Get Enough of Your Love. Basically, I've played that solo in, it must be half a dozen bands over the years. It was, when I was doing the rounds, pretty much a staple of the classic rock pub gig circuit. And, never quite got the solo right, it has to be said. If I'm honest, sometimes I'd be in a band where I was the only guitar player, and it was down to me to try and come up with a composite part that sounded like, a compromise between the two harmony guitar parts. And other times, maybe, the other guitar player and me didn't quite kind of get the harmonies working correctly together. We'll say no more than that. So I finally sat down and bit the bullet and figured it out. And here's what is going on the solo that I've just figured out.
Solo explanation.
Okay, then let's tell you all about this solo, starting as always with the chord sequence it's played over. Now, the reason why you've probably seen countless pub covers bands doing a version of this song and it never sounds quite right is because not many people, or most people, don't realise that the main rhythm guitar part for this song is in open G tuning. And I've got a guitar here, funnily enough, that is in open G tuning, which basically means that we've got, from the top string, we've got D, B, G, D, G, D. In other words, what you do is you take your first, your fifth and sixth strings, I beg your pardon, and tune them down to semitones. And when you do that, you can play basically a major chord just by barring across with one finger. And if we start that at the 5th fret, we've got a C chord. Then we would go down to a B flat, and then up to the 10th fret gives us an F. And then we do this little kind of shape here where my second finger is going on to the 2nd string at the 11th fret, and my 3rd finger is going on to the 12th fret on the 4th string to give us that sort of 6 sus4 kind of sound. So that would be an F, that's an F6 sus4. And we do that at various points on the major chord throughout the solo. It's also good for doing sort of Rolling Stones type stuff. Like that. Anyway, so like the first half of the solo is played over. Basically about 8 bars or so of that. Then we come up to a G chord here at the 12th fret, because we're open G, 12th fret will be a G chord as well. Then B flat, and then up to F again, and then just a couple of accents on an E flat, and then C to F, doing that kind of extra bit there, that's 6 sus4. So the second half of the solo is kind of and so on until we get to the G chord at the end. And then we're back into the rest of the song then. So I better talk about the lead guitar part now, which is played on a standard tune guitar. Give me a sec. And I'm back. So, yeah, it's a guitar harmony part, and there's two kind of different approaches to playing harmony guitar in this solo. The first is basically harmonising in a traditional way, where we're basically playing in thirds. So whatever scale you're using, you play a note from that scale. Let's say that note there, then the second guitar would go 3 notes up the scale from that, 1, 2, 3, and play that note. So when guitar 1 is playing this note, guitar 2 is playing the note 3 scale steps above it. So what is the scale we're using then? Well, the first part of the solo is largely based around like a C, a B flat, and an F chord. Okay, and when you take those 3 chords, C, B flat, and F, that is basically in the key of F major. You know, you could do sort of a Eddie Cochran's Summertime Blues kind of thing around that. Like that. So we're in the key of F, but it's very much based around the C chord. Now, C is the 5 chord in the key of F, and when you focus on the 5 chord, we're said to be in the Mixolydian mode. So what's happening here is we're using the C Mixolydian mode to play with. Okay, and basically, if I just play like the first little phrase of melody, like that, or I could take this note up to here, we've got that. Then all of the notes in the harmony part are just 3 scale steps above that, so that would track like this. Oops, like that basically. I'll do it on the same string. Like that. So all of the notes in the harmony part are just 3 steps up the scale from the notes in the main melody part. The C Mixolydian mode has notes of C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, which is what makes it Mixolydian. If it was a B, it'd be a C major scale, B flat, and C. And those are the notes that are used to play that melody. So, you know, you can actually play it if you're in a kind of a 1 guitar band. You could play this part just on a single guitar. You could go maybe something like, oops, and fake it like that. I think Jeff Whitehorn, I remember reading an interview with him, you know, the session guitar player. I think when he had a brief tenure in Bad Company, I think he said that he did something like that on this song. So then we come to the second part of the solo, where it's all about the, you know, the kind of... that part there. Now, this is where we're basically kind of going between the C chord and the F chord. And this has a slightly more bluesy feel to this part of the solo than the first half. And the reason for that is because this is all largely based around the C minor pentatonic scale. If you've got a C major chord and an F major chord, if you're kind of gravitating towards that C major chord and you play C minor pentatonic over the top of it, it's going to sound bluesy. And that's what we're doing here. So, probably the more prominent guitar part in this section of the solo is the harmony part, the bit that's going. And that's just coming out of this part of pattern 4 of C minor pentatonic. So you can see that there. Okay. So what I'm going to do, just humour me here, is I'm going to move that down an octave. So instead of being bass at the 15th fret, I'm going to bass it at the 3rd fret. And play that part an octave lower. Now, anytime you've got a pentatonic scale, any kind of pentatonic melody or lead part, the easiest way to harmonise it is to go to the next but one pentatonic pattern up. So this is in pattern 4. The one up from that would be pattern 5. And the one up from that would be pattern 1. And anything you do in pattern 4, if you mirror those moves in pattern 1, so, you know, basically think of it this way: I'm bending the second note on the second string. Every pentatonic pattern has 2 notes per string, and the second note on this string here is being bent. So let's go the second note on the second string in pattern 1 and bend that. That will harmonise with that, and any moves that you do in this pattern 4 pentatonic will automatically be harmonised if you just recreate those moves in pattern 1. Like that. And then of course what's happened here is that the pattern 4 part has been moved up an octave. But you know, it's a very effective way of creating a harmony guitar part with pentatonic scales. So, you know, this part's going, move it up an octave actually. And recreate those moves with respect to pattern 1 down here. That's what's going on in the solo, just the next but one pentatonic pattern and recreating those moves in that pattern. So if you're in pattern 4, do the exact same moves in pattern 1. I'm sure you get the point by now. So that's largely what's going on in this solo. Hope you've learned something from it, but you know, either way, go away and have some fun with it. And there is of course a full tab in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a jam track to play along with, the clip of me playing the solo, and that explanation that you've just seen there. All of that is up on my Patreon page as usual. There's the address and the link is in the description. It's only $3 or £2.50 a month, and you get access to all of these additional resources and goodies that go along with these YouTube lessons. A massive, humongous, ginormous thank you to everybody who supports me in that or any of the other ways, all of which are of course linked down in the description. I am truly grateful. Thank you, each and every one of you. Massively appreciated. And that is pretty much it for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the video and found it useful in some small way, and if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. Why not give me a like while you're at it? As always, don't forget the live stream every Friday 5 PM UK time, where we chat and drink beer, and you know, it's a great way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there if you can make it, but for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.